Here we go. Alright, take the thing off, and I'm gonna hopefully choose some.
Not that one.
Shh, don't do that.
Not that one.
Shh, stop. I'm gonna leave this audio in just for you. Alright, I'm gonna choose this one,
No, not that one.
this one, and this one.
And just what it is.
They're all greens.
Yeah.
Well, and one fluorescent. That's pretty exciting. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we have an interesting challenge ahead of us. I decided to take on the 3 marker challenge, and as you could see in the beginning of the video, I wasn't entirely excited about my choices of colors. Right now I'm just doing like a little bit of a swatch on the side of the paper just to kind of keep in mind what colors I'm going to be working with. And I just like to mention that my set of markers literally has like 2 color families that have even any kind of multiples of colors. Green is one of them, and then blue is the other one. Everything else only has like 1 or 2 colors in it. That's the whole reason why I decided to do this challenge, is because I thought it would be an interesting way for me to learn how to basically work with the colors that I had that weren't necessarily the most ideal as far as blending or relation to one another. And then what do? I pick literally one of the only color families that are all 3 available. So when starting the design, I knew I wanted to do some kind of feminine figure, just because I'm not gonna lie, that's just kind of where my comfort and my wheelhouse is right at the moment. I'm just really enjoying drawing portraits of feminine figures just because they're fun and sort of easy for me. But when I drew 3 greens, I definitely had no idea where I was even gonna maybe start. My husband, who was featured in the beginning of the video while in my choosing process, suggested doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So, you know, initially I was like, oh, well, I guess I could do like a Mother Earth kind of thing, but I thought that was like a little predictable. So the second place I came to as far as lots of green was Medusa. And so I decided to do a headshot of Medusa just because I thought it would be fun and it would kind of still be within the things I'm comfortable drawing, but also push me out of my comfort zone as far as the snake hair. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really love how it turned out, but I think that's actually a limitation of me still learning how to draw with my markers. And now in this challenge, since I'm not able to blend with colored pencils in between my markers, it definitely shows just how much I still have yet to learn about my, working with markers, and especially working with a limited color palette where I don't have the luxury of being able to have a couple of colors that are real close together that I can kind of learn to blend with. I mean, overall, I did enjoy the composition of the piece, and I enjoyed learning to draw snake heads a little bit better. Initially in my sketch, which I understand is a little bit difficult to see, I apologize for that. I have a really light touch when it comes to sketching, and this light green color definitely doesn't help that at all. But in the initial sketch here, I just kind of used vaguely arrowhead type shapes to kind of just keep place of where I wanted the snake heads, and I actually, between lining and sketching here, I kind of jumped because I had to use my phone to look up some references of actual snake heads so I could make them look like not, gummy worms hanging off the side of her head. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to do this challenge again once I have a few more markers at my disposal and I've had some more practice. I mean, literally I've probably done like 7 or so drawings with markers, and not all of them to completion, only a couple of them to completion. I've mostly still just been playing around and kind of enjoying myself, which, I think is the point of art. I never want to take art too seriously where it doesn't become enjoyable anymore. But with those projects, I also had the mixed media approach to it where I kind of substituted and supplemented with the color variations that I couldn't create with the markers themselves. Here I am just using a fine liner pen that I got to actually bullet journal with, which I very much enjoy as well as far as artistic expressing myself artistically. But I have been really enjoying drawing a lot lately, and so I just kind of made use of this pen that I had lying around just because it was green and so it wasn't like cheating. And I also didn't really want to give it a black outline because I thought that would be a little bit too harsh, especially since I wanted it to be a limited palette. I added a few scales here and there on the snakes. I definitely wasn't like gung-ho about adding like every single scale, so I kind of was just trying to shoot for kind of a suggestion of scales to kind of give you the idea of what's happening there. And I kind of liked the effect for what it was, which was, sort of lazy. But I do want to work on that a little bit more as far as texture in general. Hair is really something I'm working on a lot lately as far as, learning new techniques and practicing a lot. And so since that's something I'm still kind of a novice at, this hair with the snakes was super difficult for me. And I was kind of treating it more like hair than specifically snakes, just stylistically. I kind of wanted to combine both instead of just looking like she had a head full of like literal true to nature snakes. So that's kind of why I chose to work with some of the bends and unnatural positioning that I did, just to kind of give it a more hair relatable feel. So that was in fact intentional. As I'm working here, I did want to let you guys know that I'm planning a couple of different things for upcoming videos. One of those would be art on a budget and some of the fake it till you make it kind of workarounds that I have found as far as like techniques to mimic some of the higher end products or things of that nature. So that's kind of a little bit of a series that I'm hoping to put together. I'm still in the brainstorming, storylining kind of stage of it. I'm also going to be doing a video that has to do with choosing color palettes, where to find inspiration, some outside resources as far as providing color palettes and helping you out that way. And I always found that those kinds of sites and resources super rewarding and super enjoyable to look at and to create from, as far as when I was designing original characters. And I am hoping to do that a little bit more as well, as far as just like practicing designing original characters top to bottom, as far as, clothing and style and purpose. And I'm hoping to share that with you guys as well. So if you have any other suggestions, comments, anything you'd like to see, any kind of specific process that you've seen other places that you're kind of looking for a cheaper workaround to, I mean, all of these things I'm super open to. I'd love to take suggestions and kind of try to help find dupes, as it were, to different products or different techniques that you can kind of pull off with cheaper products. And there you have it. Here's the finished product. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out given the limitations. I enjoyed the challenge. I'm looking forward to doing a few more here and there. So I'd love it if you would hit subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out on Instagram and check out the rest of my channel. Leave me a comment if you see something you like. Bye!